Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again. And if you guys have not been playing the ranked matches, I am shocked because I know so many people have really been enjoying this feature on OPBounty. And personally, I've been live streaming it every single night. I've been having a great time. And yeah, there's some exciting new features. If you guys didn't watch the previous video on what OPBounty is and how you can download it, or just access the program as a whole, I'll put it up here, but I'll link it down below. It's very easy, extremely easy to go through and watch and learn how to interact with it. But some exciting new features that were just announced on the Discord. So actually, just pulling that up really quickly, we had Latasio, the creator of OPBounty, messaging in the Discord under the OPBounty announcements that he woke up to the server being down, but he got it fixed really quickly. And he has a super exciting update that is coming through. So with the My Leaders screen, you will now be able to show recently played leaders and opponents that you've faced. So it gives you some more statistics on, okay, how have I been playing up against certain matches, or what leaders am I struggling the most against. Like, it'll give you some information on, hey, maybe this is the matchup I need to practice a little bit more, which is really nice. Like, I tend to struggle into certain matchups, and knowing where, I don't keep a tally mark on my side right here. Knowing where I fall short in some of those matchups is very helpful information, so that I can maybe plan around them by either changing the deck, practicing the matchup more, all kinds of things. So very exciting, very useful for that. And Patreon members are actually going to be getting a little bit of a bonus on there, so I'll be able to show you that here in just a second. But the meta screen is going to show the most successful cards that are played in each deck list. So very interesting. We're also going to go over that. And then the matchup screens. This is going to be basically a compilation of statistics that from every game that has been played on OPBounty, how well those leaders stack up into certain matchups. So obviously there's going to be leaders that don't have as much play, so those aren't going to have maybe the most reliable statistics. Like, let's say Purple Shanks probably doesn't have either any statistics on this or very little at all, because there's probably not much play for it. But if you are expecting to see like some meta relevant or even like tier 2 decks, you can see kind of like how they stack up into certain matchups, which is really neat. So putting that to the side very quickly and going into the new stats. So first things first, with the favorite leaders in the top right up here, we do end up having your 3 leaders that you've played the most matches with, and your success or unfortunately unsuccessful games with them. Like Sakazuki recently, I went on a tear of absolutely losing. I have been just wanting to get a more firm understanding of how the deck is, like what the decision making is on certain turns, so that I have a better understanding of playing against it. But yeah, I've definitely been struggling with that with the 2-5, and with Gecko though, I've been doing really solid. But this is where I put the most of my time in, and as well as Uta. So you get to see these awesome statistics already right here: how many wins, losses, win rate, all that good stuff. Your global wins, losses on the left side, being able to track your progression as well. But, as we went over previously, getting to look through your matchups, your match history, and seeing like, okay, I've won certain games, I've lost certain games. But it is tough to just go back through every single matchup seamlessly. So now with the My Leaders tab, you'll be able to bring up different leaders that you've played. So for example, I'm going to click on Gecko Moria here, and this is fantastic. So it'll be able to show your opponent's leaders and how much of a win rate you have against that. So for example, Red Purple Law, so far I have above a 70% win rate as Gecko Moria, going 5-2, and I've actually lost quite a bit to Uta. Right? Uta being 1 win, 3 losses. Sakazuki, I've been doing very well. The mirror matchup around the 50%. So very interesting, and you get to kind of look over some of these and go, okay, yeah, this is where I've struggled a little bit more. This is where I've found more of my success. And the nice thing for the Patreon subscribers is you can actually check out which of the, like, I played different variants of Gecko Moria. I tried multiple deck lists, and it will show you what deck lists you have had the most success with. And you'll be able to copy it to your clipboard and then replay that deck list if you don't still have it saved. So very nice that, you know, I can just kind of scroll through and I can say, oh wow, I had 9 games played and I had an 88.9% win ratio with this deck list. That's pretty good, right? So let me kind of like see what I had going here that was a little different from some of my previous lists, and now I can just kind of, you know, I can go, hey, all right, obviously I did really well with this, so maybe I should continue my success and continue practicing that. Maybe there's minor, you know, changes that I made to certain lists. I really like this feature. I think it's super fun. It's very interesting to look over and just kind of see, like, and when you click on them, you can see exactly what matchups you did and how much success you had into certain ones. So for this, I was able to pretty much win every single game except for one loss against RP Law. Pretty solid, all things considered. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the My Leaders tab. Obviously, you can click on different leaders, try out different things. This one, I've only used one deck list with 3 wins, 3 losses. And yeah, it's very interesting. I love this feature though. Brings up a lot of, you know, useful statistics in this situation. With the meta, so now I can click on a leader here on the left side. So let's go ahead and just click on Gecko Moria. The images are a little small, but if you hover over them, it'll show it a little bit better. But it'll show you different cards and how much presence they have into every potential deck list, right? How many games they've been played, so it gives you good statistics. Like, for example, Laboon at 2 of in a deck has only 1 game played, and it lost that game, but you can just take a look and see, oh, okay, interesting. So, like, how much are people running? Sakazuki, right? Tends that people will run either 1 or 2, because you see 454 and 420 games played at 1 or 2, and the success rate of 2 seems to be a slight bit higher than running 1 of Sakazuki, if that is something that you are interested in. Something I always kind of rack my brain around is, should I be running Kuzan, and if so, how many, right? Well, we've seen there's 14,000 games played. Big data pool right here for 2 in the deck list at a 54% win ratio. We have 504 games with 1 played, and that's at a 65% win ratio. So very interesting. Yeah, is this like the optimal amount that I should be running, or is it, you know, slightly under-repped, you know, of the sorts? And then we yeah, just being able to look over like all of the leaders. I mean, this is amazing. I can look over Uta. I can see, oh, okay, obviously film cards, like how many of each are played. You know, what does this you know, what does this tell me in my deck list? Should it be more successful if I run this variant? Should it be less successful? You know, a lot of good stuff. But then one thing that I really love is the matchups page right here. Yet again, a lot of these features are going to be Patreon features, but if you're going to get some of them, you might not get 100% access, but you'll get like the, you know, the gist, if you will. But this is a great infographic, essentially, that is constantly updating based off of games played with particular leaders. So if we start with Sakazuki here on the left side, we'll see lots of games played. 9,926 wins, 7,645 losses, 56% win ratio overall, making it the highest winning rate leader at the moment. And that is going to have good matchups and bad matchups, obviously. So it's looking as though it's having a 46.1% ratio against RP Law. So actually arguably pretty bad matchup. Maybe not awful, but yeah. And it's actually struggling against Eustace Captain Kidd. So, but then you see the rest of these green, like 57%, 50%, 66, wow, 62.5, 54. I mean, like great win rates against certain decks. And then you can go to RP Law. Oh, its bad matchups tend to be Red-Green Law, Gecko Moria, Uta, Enel. Even though Enel, it's saying like it's more of a 50%, but you get the idea. And I like that you can just kind of look this over and be like, okay, well, I personally am a Gecko Moria player, so like what matchups does it seem that this deck tends to struggle into? Looks as though the vast majority are going to be, like, Sakazuki seems to be a 50-50. Enel seems to be maybe a little slightly favored in Enel's fashion. Katakuri, very 50-50, yeah. Edward Newgate, that is actually a bit of a weird matchup. It's a bit of a weird one. But otherwise, very, very good win ratio against multiple decks. Wow, a 92.5% win ratio against green-purple Dofi. Oh my god. That's crazy. Yeah. But, very interesting. Very interesting. I love these kind of statistics personally. It helps me get better in how I can, you know, improve my gameplay, what matchups I need to focus the most on. I love to see updates like this, so I'd love to hear what y'all's thoughts are. Are you guys playing OPBounty? And if not, are you going to be? And I'll be seeing you in there. And yeah, other than that, just wanted to make a short video just highlighting some of the awesome new, like, features that are coming to this, because this is kind of just the starting point, realistically. Like, there's so many more ideas that Latasio's been talking about, but also just like overall quality of life upgrades, which is really good. And personally, I enjoy climbing up the ladder and the leaderboards right now. I believe I'm ranked 51st. Yeah, 51st, and I'm trying to climb up as much as possible, because the higher you get, the better players you play and the more you learn. So love to see it. But I will catch you guys in the next video, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, though. Until next time, peace.